What's up, guys? Private Eye Russ here. Thank you for being here. You could have chosen to be anyplace else. You chose to be here. Look at your boy trying to get some technology going. Anyway, so we're going to react to another video. I actually like this reaction stuff. I see why people do it. And this woman's talking about guys who get cheated on. Now, I've talked about this before in other stories. Guys don't believe there's a segment of men out there who believe that if you're 6 foot tall, women won't cheat on you. If you're in good shape, they won't cheat on you. If you make a ton of money, they won't cheat on you. If you got all these different, the three sixes and all these different criteria, I've seen members of the Nephilim. Nephilim, in case you didn't know, they were angels that came down to earth and they wed human females, and their offspring were giants, Nephilim. So guys that were super tall, at the higher end of physicality, the top 0.1% as far as physical strength and power, height, even top 1% as far as economics, fame, all these different things, and women have cheated on these guys. You see it in Hollywood, you see it in politics, powerful men, rich men, famous men, popular men. It all depends on the woman. So guys need to stop blaming themselves and start blaming everyone. And women will use that. Oh, she cheated on you because you weren't man enough. It's somehow your fault. You weren't meeting her needs physically or emotionally or whatever the case is. It's BS. It's a lie. So this lady hits some really, really good points. So we're gonna go ahead and blow this up. Oh, 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 there we go. Hold on.
Really high value men, they're so naive about women because they think you're not going to get any better than me. But women don't want better, they want what they're used to. So if you meet a woman whose dad was an alcoholic or a dad was abusive or didn't grow up with a father figure, she will have a high value rich man who treats her really well and cheat with her toxic PT in the back of her Nissan.
For those of you who aren't British, PT is personal trainer in the back of his Nissan. And again, like you're hearing it from this woman right here, and I've said this many a time before. Look, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a marriage counselor, but I have seen what I have seen, and I've seen it a lot. This happens a ton. Women married to, attorneys, executives, guys in the C-suite, cheating, cheating on guys that supposedly, according to some people, with these all these theories, and these theories are a bunch of nonsense. It's like the guys thinking, oh, you have to be 6 foot tall or you're invalidated. Oh, shut up, man. It's got nothing to do with height. Again, I've seen giants get cheated on. So disregard these guys. Make yourself the best you can be. Do not base your self-esteem on women. Base your self-esteem on the things that you want to accomplish and your goals and the things that you that 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 make you a man. And women don't make you a man.
Son. And you're thinking, but you've got a rich billionaire, but she's like, I want that chaos. So your competition is never other men. Your competition is her values and her culture. And when you pick a woman who is the dream girl, her values and cultures are not monogamous.
Mm, mm. And again, this is where guys like me come in. You want research into your woman's background before you tie the knot and sign the contract with the state. This is one of the things I specialize in. We go back forensically, digitally, social media, and a whole bunch of other means I'm not going to go into. Obviously, it requires some of my PI magic, but we can give you a good snapshot into what her past was like, which will give you the best indicator of what her future is going to be like. So don't discount a woman's past. Anyway, sorry. Fair use.
Unfortunately, so they actually, whereas the average guy who can't choose those women is going to pick an average girl who isn't as swamped with options, he's less likely to be cheated on.
Would you?
Mm. And again, I've told guys this, said this before. Nines and tens, they don't even bother with nines and tens. Look, I've gone out with a nine. I was actually engaged to a nine before I actually got married, and um, being with a nine is a full-time job, guys. It is non-stop. Okay, now she was particularly high maintenance. Admittedly, I don't think they're all as high maintenance as she was, but she came from a very wealthy family, and her dad catered to her every need. Anything she wanted, guess what? She got it, and it was just constant stuff, man. And so sevens, sixes, sevens, even eights. That's where you guys should be trying to live. But even then, make sure that you measure up as well too. All right. Anyway,
I agree that
fair use.
A man who is extremely attractive and a woman who is extremely attractive, when they get together, it's just going to be problems. Because the man might be insecure and jealous, and the woman might be the same.
It can work really well if they have no kind of concerns and they're happy to lock off all alternatives.
All right, so we don't need to go any further, but at the end of the day, the lessons, um, they're it's stark when I've seen guys that were literally what most women would call a dream guy. Guys that have these professions and huge earning potential and making a ton of money, providing a great house, great life, um, fortune, fame, social status, all these different things, and these chicks are cheating on them with dudes that don't have anything, like literally pretty much homeless. And so if you understand a woman's past, you have to understand a woman's past. Maybe one of these days I'll tell a story, a really I've told stories before about how she's not doing it for the money. I'll try to turn some of those into videos. But at the end of the day, there's one in particular where a guy was completely blindsided by his wife's extracurricular activity, and even me, sometimes I think I've seen it all, until I see something else, and I'm like, holy smokes, this was shocking even for me and one of my guys that was working with me at the time. So anyway, it's your boy Private Eye Russ. If you want to know more about your girl's background, if you want a snapshot into what she's going to be and a peek into the future of what she's going to be like going forward into the future once you sign that marriage contract with the state, once you put a ring on it, once you give her access to all of your goods, before you do all that stuff, because as soon as you marry her, guess what? Half of your stuff is hers now. And so before you do that, reach out to me. I will help you. I'm running a special right now on background. I'll run the background for you, and you'll have a good amount of information, analysis, and a really good snapshot of what her past is. Will give you an indicator of what she's going to be like in the future. I know people say, "Oh, people change." Not really. Women, once they get into a certain mode, they may put that, especially if they're a 304, they may put that behavior, may go into hibernation for a while, maybe go into hibernation for a long while, but it's going to be lurking in the background, almost like an alcoholic. All they need is one drink to push them over the edge and back into that that behavior pattern. And all some of these 304s need is the right dude that pushes the right buttons for them, and there they go. They're off to the races. Anyways, your boy Private Eye Russ. Reach out to me at russ@privateeruss.com if you need help. I can help you with mitigation procedures if you suspect your spouse is cheating. If you want to know more about your girl or your wife, or your future wife, your fiance, and you want a snapshot into about what she's going to be like going forward into the future. This is something I specialize in. Reach out to me. I'm running a special right now. You can email me at russ@privateeruss.com or send me a direct message on X at Private Eye Russ. Anyways, your boy Russ. I am